which is going to be important in a second. You'll understand why I mentioned that. But he also brings us a lot of great, fun, cool toys on the inside. But on the outdoors, he brings us a lot of practical solutions that we can do as busy parents, as people who are working a full-time job and want to have a gorgeous-looking yard. Corey brings us the treats, and this is one of our favorites.
You know, this is fantastic. I love this because, like you said, I'm really busy. And, you know, by the time I work in time with my kids and my job, when it comes to home projects, I don't want something that's going to feel, you know, like, oh, my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, you know, all this stuff I have to do. This is really a great afternoon project. And when I show you how easy it is, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But first, let me show you what you're getting here, because you are getting, you can pick either the cobblestone or the Belgian style molds. Now, these are the cobblestone molds right in front of me here.
Love these.
And these, you do get 2 of them, and I'll show you why you get 2 of them in just a moment. But, I mean, these are, first of all, they're indestructible plastic. They're going to last you a lifetime. Second of all, you fill them with concrete to make a random pathway. And you see, this way, I'm making a 2-foot wide path. I can also swing them around this way, and now I'm making an 18-inch wide path. Or you can actually piece them together and put one here and put one here, and you can make a big square patio or a driveway, whatever you needed to do. Now, this is the random stone path. And by the way, on the random stone path, there's a dotted line that runs right down through the center. Read your instructions. It'll teach you how to use those dotted lines to make slow, graceful turns around your yard using this. So you don't just have to go in 90-degree angles. You know, you can actually make slow, graceful turns with that. It's beautiful. Now, let me show you very quickly here how it's done, okay? Here's the video that's going to show you. All you need to do is take that pathway mold, lay it down, mix up your concrete to kind of a soupy-like texture in the mixing barrel, and that is a big plus right there. I'll show you the mixing barrel in just a moment. You pour it in, and then you take what is called a screeding board. In the world of masonry, this is called screeding. You pull the extra concrete off the top. Yeah, it can be any old board, any old board. Then you just kind of smooth it out. After you pop that mold off, you're left with all those great cracks that you can fill with anything you want. You can use pebbles. Here they're using sand. You can use moss. One of my favorite things is to use dirt and put grass seed on top. You can mow right over the top. By the way, the Belgian mold. This one is the, it's kind of a squarish look. You know, think of a waffle when you think of this. It's more of a contemporary look, and it works just the same way as the other one.
Kind of a type look.
Exactly. So let me take you over here. Let me show you how it's done, and I'm going to take my barrel with me, because this is the secret to the whole process. A lot of people think of concrete, and they think, wow, what a daunting task. It is the odd job mixing barrel right here that makes mixing concrete and transporting it such a simple task. All you're going to do is pour in your concrete. You take the lid off, you pour in 1 bag of concrete, 40, 50, 60 pound, whatever you want in there. On the top of the mixing barrel, it will actually show you, this is your measuring cup, it will show you how much to put in. Here it says 40 pounds of concrete is 2 quarts of water. You fill this. It actually has little lines in here that will show you how much water to use. You fill it in with water and just dump it into your barrel. You then put the lid back on, you roll it on its side, you just lay it down and roll it back and forth. I gave it to my 7-year-old, he rolled it to the neighbor's house and back. And that was it. 60 seconds, you're going to have perfectly mixed concrete every single time without fail. It works like a mini cement mixer. That is what makes it so easy to do this task. And quite honestly, because you're concrete, you can roll it. You can then roll it right over to your job site, so you don't have to think about carrying it or wheelbarrows and all that stuff.
All right, now take a look at how beautiful this looks, though, when you're done. And you were the one who taught me about just getting that quick little, it's called Quickcrete. You pop it in there, and you're able to do this and lay this out. How long did this take you to do?
This took me, I did this in my driveway. These are 3 molds. This one took me 15 minutes, this one took me 15 minutes, and this one here took me 10 because I didn't finish it yet. And when I did these 2, I had 2 children hanging off me the entire time I was doing it, and nobody else helping me, okay? And we understand how that can slow things down. So
less than an hour, imagine creating this absolutely gorgeous look.
And once again, here's how it's done. You put the mold down, you mix up your concrete in your barrel to kind of a soupy type texture. You then pour it in. You can use anything you want. You can use a garden spade. This is a little mason's trowel. I paid $3 for this at a home improvement store. And you just take this and you kind of pack the concrete into all the corners to make sure that it's all throughout the entire mold. You then take your piece of wood. This used to be some kind of a door threshold. I mean, really, you can use any piece of wood you want. And you just rake it across the top like this in kind of a sawing motion, just like you're cutting bread. It pulls all that extra concrete off the top. You're using quick dry concrete, which means you wait 2 minutes. That's it. 2 minutes. Then you grab your mold, it has some little edges on it, you give it a wiggle one way, you give it a wiggle the other way, and when you pop it off, that is what you're left with underneath. Isn't that beautiful?
And then all you need to do is fill that with whatever you want to go ahead and you want to fill that with.
Here we use some moss. If you actually take a look at this pathway behind me here, I did this one last weekend. I had a friend of mine working with me. We made this path. This path is actually filled with sand. I started making this path at 10:30 in the morning. That means I got my tools out. I didn't even start pouring concrete yet. 10:30 in the morning. By 1 o'clock, this whole pathway was completely done.
Look at this. Look at how absolutely stunning and beautiful.
I mean, mulch, landscaped, filled with sand, the whole deal. This was done by 1 o'clock. So when I say that you can honestly go right across your backyard in an afternoon, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, start wherever you want to start, your back door, your shed, your pool, wherever you want to, and you can make this beautiful custom pathway across your backyard literally in a matter of hours.
I was going to say, and I don't know how far that is, maybe 15 feet or so, probably.
It's actually 18 feet all the way across.
So 18 feet going all the way across here. And he was able to do that in about 2 hours worth of time. So just sitting down and doing that. But this is something you can also have a great time. You can do that with your kids. You can sit down. This gives a very nice traditional look. So if your home is more the brick, more the antiques, you like more of that traditional look and you love that cobblestone design, this is a great way to be able to do that. So we have the cobblestone mold. If you have a little bit more of a contemporary type style home, if you love a lot of, more of the leathers and stuff, then you might want to get the Belgian mold. Either one of these, just beautiful. But you can see how you can actually create a curve. You can do it straight.
Yes.
But one of our favorite things that we love, because everybody always thinks, wow, you know what? When they're out there, I mean, look at how beautiful this is when it's all finished up, and then you put your plants right there along the side. Maybe it's going out to the pool. Maybe it's just trying to get on over to the area where you have, the hose. And you're constantly walking over there, and you end up just trouncing everything.
And
or maybe an area for the dogs to just kind of lay on that's nice and cool for them.
Right.
But this is the best part. Because we always think, man, if we could have been here when they put the driveway down, I'd love to have my kid's footprint in there or handprint in there.
This is my 4-year-old's foot. He's 5 now. This is my 11-year-old's hand. She is 12 now. Imagine when he comes back from college and puts his big old foot down on top of this, Yeah. I mean, my gosh, it's immortalized. And you'll notice that this piece right here is actually red. I used what's called concrete dye. It only costs about $2. It comes in a little box just like this. You can buy it at any home improvement store. It's a powder you actually mix in with the concrete. So if I were to take a sledgehammer and break this piece of concrete open, it would be red through and through. It's not paint. It's a great way to do it. You also have the option of using aggregate. Like I bought this. It cost me $2 for 100 pounds of this. This is pea stone because it's the size of peas. And while the concrete was still wet, I dumped it on top and just smashed it down with my hand. And then after the concrete dried, I just dumped off the extra. And here you have it, right there. This will give you the look of like a pool deck at a spa or a high-end hotel. It's just beautiful. Just some ideas that you can actually use your concrete molds for. And because you're doing it yourself, you don't have to worry about, like for instance, if you've gone out and priced pavers, oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, and lugging them back and forth, by the way.
First of all, you're getting the same look as the Joneses. Everybody's got the same blasted pavers because the same, that's it. The home improvement stores, they only stock like 3 or 4 different kinds. Second of all, they cost a fortune. It's going to cost you $3 to $4 for a bag of quick dry concrete, and you're getting an entire mold out of it. For these right here, these little brick pieces that I have right here, those would normally cost a couple dollars a piece. You don't have to pay
a couple dollars a piece?
Yes.
So a couple dollars a piece.
For high-end pavers? Yeah. Absolutely. And I can make those any color I want. I can do any kind of imprints I want. Those are actually the Belgian style mold, which I'm going to take you over and show you how to do right now.
All right. Now take a look once again, too. So if you want to just do it in classic white, you can. You can do it in those beautiful golds. Remember, you're actually getting 2 of the molds. So while you're ordering this today, whether you get the Belgian mold or whether you get the cobblestone, get this mixing barrel. It is fantastic. I actually use that for the smallest job. I had a brick that just busted off inside the house, rolled it around inside of there. I just didn't want to mess with mixing it and find something to mix and get it. This is the perfect barrel for it. It's actually done in such a way that it works with that to mix it up perfectly. You don't have to second guess yourself. Did I get enough? Did I mix it long enough? Did I do it right? Is it drying on the sides? it's perfect. So it's the right setup for that. $29.95. Almost 300 people now have already said yes to this, and that's all you do. Just roll it back and forth. Kids will have a great time. Ours is kind of like down the driveway. My son just ran it down the driveway and ran it right back. You said your little 7-year-old actually took it.
That's it. I put it on its side and I said, all right, Ethan, off you go. And that was it. And he goes like this and he rolls it right across the ground. He rolled it right across the yard and then back. And by the time he got back, it had been 60 seconds because that's all it takes. Perfectly mixed concrete every time in 60 seconds with this barrel. And then roll it over to your job site, mix it up kind of soupy, and pour it into your mold. And right here, you see I have the Belgian mold. I actually did have, once again, 2 children hanging off me the entire time I did this, and I made them prove it. Right here is the footprint of my 5-year-old. Right here is the handprint of my 7-year-old. I had them actually put it in the concrete so that you could see.
You know
there's their signature. They were actually with me the whole time. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your mold down. You're then going to mix up your concrete kind of soupy and pour it in. You can use either a little garden spade or you can use one of these. Like I said, I paid $3 for this at a home improvement store. It's a masonry trowel. And you can just pack that concrete down into all the corners to make sure that each one of these is filled evenly. You then take a piece of wood, any old piece of wood. This came off a deck somewhere. And all you do is rake it across the top like this to pull any extra cement off. It's called screeding. You wait 2 minutes for that quick dry cement to dry. 2 minutes, that's it. And then you grab the edges, you give it a wiggle one way, you give it a wiggle the other, and when you pop it off, this is what you're left with. And once again, those cracks, those beautiful cracks in between are left there so you can fill them with whatever you want. Here I use that moss again. Yeah. The Spanish moss is really beautiful. You can do dirt and grass seed and let the grass grow up between it. It'll give you a look that looks like that pathway's been there for 100 years.
Now, I do want to give everybody a quick heads up because the last time Corey and I worked together, we completely sold out of the cobblestone, and this is the cobblestone that we have right over here. That's sort of the more traditional type of a look.
Yes. This
is that new contemporary design. I'm glad that we came out with an alternative. We only have fewer than 1,000 of these now left to go around, already over 400, but it does traditionally, it sells about 3 to 1 of the other design. This is the most popular one. It is the one that we've had in the past. They've always been customer picks, the mixing barrel as well. It really is outstanding because I think people are surprised how gorgeous of a look that you can create, which I just said to my husband, I've been waiting for these to come back into stock. In fact, I said I'd love to be able to do one because our dog always lays in the dirt or on the grass, kills the dirt, any place that we replant. Like he's looking for a cool place to lie down. We could actually take and make these, create that little cool spot that the Golden Retriever can now lie down on and not have to get dirty and filthy every time they take a bath. This pathway.
That's right. And think about it. What is the alternative? The same pavers as the Joneses. You're not getting that custom look. You can't just, you can't make those slow, beautiful, meandering turns like you can with this. You can customize this any way you want with color, with putting things like seashells or, any kind of stone or color you can do on the top of this. You can write your signature in it. And here's a really good point. If you buy pavers, the ground underneath those pavers must be leveled perfectly flat because the paver is already pre-made. It's flat on the bottom. So it'll rock back and forth if you put it on something unlevel. Because you're pouring wet cement into this, because you're putting wet concrete in, the concrete will lay in that mold and it will automatically contour to the ground underneath it so that it will never wobble.
So if there's a little bit of an incline or something in an area.
Or a tree root you have to go over or something like that, it'll actually contour to that tree root.
Hey, you know what? How many of you have an area or a place where you just need to go and kind of scoot along and maybe you need to get the lawnmower out, different things like that? Walking into a little garden house that you might have, a children's little play hut. This is the perfect way in which to be able to do it. But look at all the cool things that you can take and you can place right on into that. You can really memorialize this. It's something that you will have forever. And you know what? This is something that you could then take with you if you ever move. So if you ever move to a new address, you know what? Just pull out the ones that have like their little handprints on it, the little footprints. You can keep that with you forever. It's a dynamite idea. Great to do. And you know what? How about a project that you could do for either Father's Day or for Mother's Day?
Oh, it's perfect.
So moms, do that for your husband for Father's Day.
It's perfect.
Or dads, do it for your wives for Mother's Day. I guarantee you that will be the best gift she's ever received. So really fantastic. Only 200 now left.